The government has been accused of trying to fast-track fracking in England. Officials are proposing changes to current legislation which could cut out local resident input in the early stages of oil and gas developments. Well, currently each and every fracking site requires an inspection from the Environment Agency before the company can go ahead and drill. They'll complete an audit on how much waste would be created. They would also test potential gas wells and how the use of acid to clean the borehole would affect the local geology. And inspectors would then issue a specific permit for that site. But under the new laws, all of that will be scrapped during the exploration phase, and instead a generic permit will be issued to companies based on one set of rules. Well, meanwhile, in the European Parliament, a majority of MEPs have voted in favour of a moratorium on the controversial practice until it is proved to be safe. The vote is symbolic, so it won't have any legal implications for shale gas companies. However, Green Party MEP Benabat Javor said that it sent a clear message to the European Commission that there was political support for more regulation. Well, joining me now for more on this is Bob Dennett, the co-founder of Frack-Free Lancashire. Bob, we were saying just earlier there could be some political support now for more regulation, but, well, it seems at the moment the government don't care really what the public have to say and that fracking is just simply going to go ahead without the public having any influence whatsoever.
I think you're absolutely right, Bill. This is just another case of the government rewriting the law to subvert democracy and pander to their corporate masters. They talk a lot about the UK having the tightest regulations in the world, but this government has gradually been unstitching those regulations in order to facilitate an easier route for the oil and gas industry to frack the UK. But
nevertheless, you are getting a say though, aren't you? Because the public is still involved in the consultation of this proposed permit change, and the decision has actually been put to the people on this occasion, and you have a chance, to have your say until the 15th of June.
Well, experience tells us, Bill, that we've been protesting. I've been fighting this for 4 years, as have hundreds and hundreds of other people, and now there are millions of us fighting it, and the government still aren't listening, and they're still unravelling regulations and making it easier for the fracking companies. You mentioned acids for cleaning the bores. We now know that they're going to be transporting hydrofluoric acid around the country. This is one of the most toxic and caustic substances on the planet. If you inhale the vapour of this substance, you are almost certainly going to die.
Of course, there clearly are some hazards here, but the government is surely not going to approve something which will have a detrimental effect on communities and the environment. I mean, should we not have more public trust in officials and experts? For example, the Environmental Agency itself, the Environment Agency.
No, I don't think we should have any more trust, because they have systematically lied to us since the beginning of this. The government, the oil and gas industry, and the regulators have systematically lied to us. They haven't been doing, the regulators themselves haven't been doing their job properly. They've been told by George Osborne that they've got to give this an easy path. George Osborne himself, the letter that was leaked last year, is putting pressure on local councils. So they're interfering in local democracy.
So you don't believe the fact that the Environment Agency said this is a lower risk activity?
No, I do not believe that when they say this is a lower risk activity. They're referring to the exploration stage. The exploration stage is actually the time at which we are most at risk, because we've got huge volumes of traffic going in and out of these sites carrying very, very dangerous chemicals and even radioactive substances. And they're doing nothing about it. The HSE and the Environment Agency made very, very few visits to the site at Priest Hall that caused the earthquakes in 2011. By their own admission, we have Freedom of Information documents that back this up. They're allowing the oil and gas industry to dictate to them what happens to our environment and our public health, and we will not accept it.
Bob Dennett, thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts live here on RT UK, co-founder of Frack-Free Lancashire. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Bill.